attorney.
Okay, welcome back. Let's, I guess continue. Although I'm gonna lower the volume again. Yeah, it is indeed the next day, since the last part. Yeah, couldn't really get the, huh? Oh, right, I misclicked, don't cast the spell. Yes, yeah. This will start the, can I exit? Yeah, this will, whoops.
ほら、ジョージ様、見て
Yeah,
ください。
yeah, wrong place, wrong place. Title. False start, sorry guys, sorry. Yeah, I don't know. I at some point when I was testing voices earlier during episode 1, I discovered that screen which says cast the spell, don't cast the spell. I didn't read too much into it. I just knew it existed, and I've always clicked don't cast the spell. I don't know what would happen if I cast the spell. Yeah, it's not like I tried to hide that I knew that information. It just never really had a reason to say that aloud. Okay, cool. Let's continue. We are done with the prologue. Maybe I could have saved over that one, but you know, I'm just gonna save to a different slot because it's a different episode, you know? Cool. Yeah. Chapter 1 of episode 2, Furniture. Let me also crack open a cold one. Not alcohol, not alcohol. I don't drink. Okay, cool. Let me just quickly check anything here. Just all the characters, right? It is interesting. I think, yeah, one thing that I don't think I ever really mentioned. Whoa, has that always been there? Does she have the one-winged eagle tattooed onto herself? What the hell? Canon? Just in the collar. Hello? Has that always been like that? I never noticed. You don't have it because you're not cool like that. You have it there, obviously. Huh? On that part. Hello? Shannon? Hmm. Yeah, okay. What was I supposed to say? Yeah. So Beatrice will go here. Then, obviously, there is still one slot here. So someone will go here. Possibly. Maybe. There is an empty slot here, which would be the position of Maria's mother. Father, sorry. Not mother. And then we have 3 extra slots here. So we have room for a total of Beatrice plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other characters, and then Maria's dad if he ever joins. We know that Krause's family has one person who is not here. The other families, I don't think there's any other relatives who are not here. So yeah, this could possibly go to Maria's father. This is Beatrice. This could be the, I think, little sister or stepsister of Battler. Could go here. But other than that, there would be 1, 2, 3, and 4 spots left. We know that there is 1 or 2 witches who have not appeared here ever. So we have Berncastle, who would probably go here, maybe. I don't know. And then Lambda Delta was mentioned, so they would go to one of these 3 empty slots. I'm ignoring this slot here. So even with those, we would still have 1 and 2 slots left for other characters we haven't yet met. I know one character from Higurashi who could maybe be a thing to appear, so that's 1 extra slot. But Yeah. Still would be unaccounted for one slot, but maybe that would remain empty anyways. Okay, cool. And we are in George or Sayo. Shannon's perspective. I guess it doesn't matter which way I call her. I'm just gonna keep calling her Shannon because that's the way everyone else refers to her, anyways, except George. My mind wandered back to the days when I could barely imagine the happiness I have today. Sorry, real quick. Whoa. Didn't mean to go to the desktop. Yeah, we are recording. Sound is coming through. Good. Yeah. Back to the days when I could barely imagine the happiness I have today. I was a middle schooler at the time. Okay, Shannon. An ordinary girl who dreamed about love as is normal at that age. But I really should not have dreamed that much. Because I am furniture. Furniture is nothing more than a tool and is not human. For a person less than human, such as myself, just receiving my education was more than sufficient happiness. So even thinking about love was more than I deserved. Oh boy. Moonlit night. The Ushrumiya family conference was a customary event held every October. Okay, October. But relatives would occasionally visit at other times as well. Of course, they didn't come just to drink tea. On this day, Ava's family had visited the head family on Rokkenjima. We don't have a date here yet, but assumedly 1986. Three people from the Krause's family and 3 people from Ava's family had gathered in the parlor. And we were having a friendly chat as they updated everyone on their situations. Like this could be a retelling of episode 1 from a different POV, or it could just be a reset, new loop with totally different events. No idea yet. I guess we'll see. Friendly chat. Yeah. Genji had supposedly told Kinzo of Ava's family's arrival, but he hadn't come down yet. Typical. He was properly immersed in his own research and couldn't spare the time. Right, I guess I shouldn't have been too excited or surprised about the one-winged eagle thing on Shannon's leg, because, Ava has one on her arm too. But as far as I know, they are the only ones. Or maybe this is like a invisible laced, arm guard or something. A guard? I don't know. Sleeve. Yeah. So it's not actually tattooed onto her. I don't know. We'll see. He was probably immersed in his own research and couldn't spare the time. This often happened, so the others waited patiently for their fickle father to come down.
Ho? それは頼もしいじゃないか。お父さんのところでたくさん勉強して、早く手助けができるよう頑張りたまえ。
ありがとうございます。今は父の紹介でたくさんの人生の先輩方に本当に貴重な勉強をさせていただいています。
Okay.
そのいずれも学校では学べないことばかりです。
学校で習うのは国語算数やない。ものを学ぶ姿勢と態度を学ぶんや。
That's a good idea.
その基礎ができて、ようやく生涯をかけた勉強が始まるんやで。
うん。
ここをな、勘違いしとる奴は、生涯学べん石頭や。
Well, I mean, yeah, but no. It really depends on the person. Like, some people will just intuit everything, and that's just fine. And some people prefer to stay dumb because the more knowledge you have, the more miserable life gets, you know?
国語算数で満点取れても、会社じゃ役に立たへん。
全くその通りだよ。
Yeah, there is truth to that.
秀吉さんの教育方針はいつも本当にご立派ですな。
But it's not all there is to that.
ジョージもまだまだ半人前や。それを常に忘れんで、勉強に励むんやで。
よしなさいよ、あなた。ジョージはいっつも一生懸命頑張ってるわよ。ねえ。
ねえ。
本当に立派ね。
My beloveds.
うちのジェシカにも爪の赤を分けてもらいたいわ。
She's a bit of a rough tomboy.
チェまだテストの結果を根に持ってるのかよ。
Did we have a conversation about this last time in episode 1? Maybe?
受験勉強は私なりにやってるって。こんな席でまで言うことはねえだろうよ。うせえぜ。
When Jessica was praised for his... When George was praised for his diligence, the conversation would nearly always turn to Jessica, who hated studying. Yeah. Because she is of the kids, the daughter of the oldest sibling, so yeah. Even though George is older. Jessica made an openly displeased face, as though she'd known it would come back to her.
やれやれ。ジェシカは勉強と一緒に少しはおしとやかな言葉遣いも学ぶ必要があるんじゃないかね。後宮家の家紋を背負う一人娘がそれではみっともないな。
Wow, imagine having a dad say that line to you.
あら、これはこれで魅力的よね。
Yeah.
時代は変わるのよ。男に食わしてもらうために定宿を装わなくてはならなかった時代はとっくに終わってるんだから。
I mean, you can try to say that to Kinzo. I feel like he's gonna punch you in the face.
そうそう。やっぱエヴァおばさんは分かってますね。
Aw.
今日は頭痛が特にこたえます。
Well, I guess my headache transferred to you.
大丈夫ですか？
Never.
夏日おばさん、顔色が優れないみたいです。
ありがとう。大丈夫です。
Also, unfortunately, he changed back to his usual attire. So, no blue collar shirt with dog tags.
でも本当に月日が経つのは早いものね。半ズボン姿で浜辺を駆け巡ってずぶ濡れになって帰ってきた日がついこの間のように思います。
それはジェシカちゃんも同じよね。今じゃお化粧の仕方にだってこだわるレディーなんだから。眉にこだわりがあるのね。今日のあなたとってもキュートよ。
Okay.
ありがとうございます。誰も気づいてくれなかったんで自信なくしてたとこです。
Yeah, she notices. For some reason, Ava is super attentive to detail. A full smile rose to Jessica's face as the result of her own studies were finally noticed. Ava smiled back just as widely. Then she turned that smile towards Natsuhi.
ダメよ、夏日姉さん。自分のこの小さな変化にも気づかなくちゃ。 かわいそうなジェシカちゃん。一番最初にお母さんに気づいてもらいたかったでしょうに。ねえ。
God damn it, her voice. It just sends me. But yeah, they if this is a like going back to episode 1, or even if it's a new timeline or whatever, reset or something, yeah, they Natsuhi hasn't really connected with Ava yet. Sorry, Natsuhi hasn't really connected with Jessica yet. So yeah, she might be more desperate for attention right now.
いいんですいいんです。
Yeah?
あの人そういうの全然気づかない人なんで。
To be fair, she does have a lot on her plate. And she's also desperate to be like recognized herself, so most of her attention goes to that, and she has, you know, headaches too, which don't help the case of staying super focused.
ジェシカ、母親をあの人呼ばわりとは感心できんね。謝りなさい。
Goddamn high society.
言葉遣いについては後でよく言って聞かせます。
ちぇ、お子様は邪魔だってんならそう言ってくれよ。私は席を外させてもらうぜ。ここは空気がよどんでるぜ。
ジェシカ。
Jessica was still at that unpredictable age with exams right around the corner. I'm just assuming we are gonna stay in Shannon POV, so that's why I'm giving it a bit of a higher voice than my regular own. Recently, she had clashed often with her mother, who was enthusiastic about her education.
失礼いたします。
Yeah? Hello? Oh, I guess this is neutral POV then. Jessica making to leave the parlor in a bad mood, and Shannon pushing a serving cart loaded with tea, bumped into each other.
ああ、シャノン。私の分のお茶はいらないぜ。私は庭でもほっつき歩いてくる。お嬢様？
シャノン、お茶が冷めます。配膳を急ぎなさい。
失礼しました。
This seems very familiar to what happened in episode 1, but I don't remember if it was Jessica leaving the room back then. Shannon hadn't actually done anything wrong, but Natsuhi, who felt like some shame to herself had been shown, lashed out at her emotionally. This was something that often happened in the Ushiromiya family. But it seemed that Shannon wasn't strong-willed enough to accept it that way. We could always, like, this neutral POV could always be, well, maybe not Beatrice, but maybe Baron Castle. That would be fitting, I guess, because I assume the episode blurbs before you get into the episodes are written by or narrated by her. She shrunk back and nervously prepared the black tea. She had the unfortunate habit of making more mistakes when she felt intimidated. Her pitiful appearance dispersed the peaceful atmosphere that had been there until just a moment ago. That wasn't really Shannon's fault, but she thought she might be the source, and felt a pressure on her chest. Her shaking fingers made the porcelain clatter, and you couldn't have called it graceful, not even as an empty compliment. The more pitiful everyone thought that was, the greater the silence grew. The more irritated Natsuhi looked, and the more Shannon cowered. Oof. Yeah, if I remember correctly, last time when this kind of a situation happened, it was Hideyoshi who tried to break the silence or break the mood, break the tension. Shannon's thin neck felt like it was being choked and suffocated by the death god called tension. But now we have George here, so George, clutch maybe? Hey, there we go. Then George spoke cheerfully, as if to blow away the stiff atmosphere.
これはいい香りだね。
Blowing away the tension, and a track called Hope starts playing. Hey, my man.
何の紅茶かな？
これは。
言わないで。
She didn't immediately know, so good call, good move.
当てるから。これは特徴的な匂いだから多分わかるよ。アールグレイかな？
多分そうだと思います。
多分アールグレイで合ってるよ。台所に戻ったら紅茶の缶を見てごらん。
ほう。ジョージ君は紅茶に詳しいのかね？
Maybe.
お世話になっている社長さんに紅茶の詳しい人がいまして。
Right. And wasn't Hideyoshi's company like a food company? So like, yeah, makes sense.
講釈を聞いているうちに少しだけわかるようになりました。
ああ、おこのぎ食品の社長さんかい。あの人、そういううんちくは得意やな。
Wait, holy shit. That's a name. I just realized that's a Higurashi name. Probably not gonna be relevant in any way, but that's funny. Right? Am I tripping? It was at least close to this.
紅茶の名前って産地を示すことが多いんでしょ？じゃあこれはアールグレイという土地で栽培されたのが由来なのかしらね。
I have never heard of that idea.
昔、イギリスにグレイ伯爵という人がいたそうで、その人にちなんでつけた名前だそうだよ。ちなみに、この特徴的な匂いは茶葉のものではなくて、ベルガモットというみかんの親戚にあたる果物でつけたものなんだって。
Okay.
そうなの。初めて知りました。
Natsuhi is me. I am Natsuhi.
そういう知識を持っていると、紅茶もより美味しくいただけますね。
酒もタバコも同じや。
No. Let's drop them. Let's burn every little secret on the planet. Let's please stop.
嗜好品はロマンをたしなむもんやで。
No, but yeah, sure. With luxuries, you've gotta appreciate the romance and the stories behind them. Yeah. When you pay something a lot for something, you should appreciate it for what it's worth.
こういううんちくが味わいを深めるんや。
Yeah, I can get behind that. Just not with cigarettes. Those are actually the worst thing ever. Well, not the worst, but
薬の能書きと同じよね。夏日姉さんも愛用してる頭痛薬の説明書、今度はじっくり読んでから飲んでみなさいよ。
Same.
それはいい。今夜試してみなさい。
ええ、試してみます。
Krause is such a character.
シャノンちゃん、そのポットを開けてごらん。茶葉の中にベルガモットを乾燥させたものが混じっているのを見つけられるはずだよ。
I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea what bergamot looks like. I mean, probably like Mandarin or something like that, but
はい。入っています。オレンジの皮を乾燥させたようなものが混じっています。
Okay, sure.
多分これがベルガモットだね。アールグレイの香りの主成分だよ。匂いは鮮烈だから 味がきつそうな印象があるけど、素直で飲みやすい味なんだよ。
I do drink a lot of tea, and I do prefer Earl Grey if it's in stock in the store. I think my favorite type of tea, I don't know the brand. I just know it's imported from somewhere else, and it's like it's like sweet apple tasting.
ミルクティーにすると香りもまろやかになって素敵かもしれないね。
Oh yeah, I love that. Earl Grey with milk.
みんなに注いでポットに余った分があったら、ぜひミルクティーにして飲んでみるといいよ。
はい。ありがとうございます。
Nice. Also covering up for her, letting her, because normally they probably wouldn't be able to just grab the leftovers. But, you know, George giving the permission gives them a bit of a wiggle room. She can just enjoy tea now on her break. George gave her a small wink. Shannon finally realized that George had been doing her a favor by calming down the atmosphere in the room. Yeah, talking about tea is, you know, a good way to do it, and also very appropriate because tea can be calming. And he had been doing it for her sake, as she had lost her self-confidence. The Ustromia family did not pamper their servants. So if there was any awkwardness, they would be harshly punished. So it didn't often happen that they were given a helping hand like this. Thanks to George's concern, Shannon was somehow able to get a hold of herself and finish serving everything safely. If she was calm when she worked, she could easily carry out her tasks elegantly and flawlessly. Yeah. By the time the black tea was laid out on the table and the elegant scent drifted around, the room was completely back to how it had been, in a peaceful mood, as everyone praised George's knowledge. Shannon wanted to thank him for saving her, but it didn't look like she would get the chance. So she at least thanked him inside her heart, praying to God that George would hear it, and pushed the serving cart away. Cute. Thank you, George. Literally the goat. Cage.
ジョージ兄さんは昔からそういう時には助け舟を出してくれるんだよ。
Yeah, he do be like that. Sorry, I'm just scanning to see if there's a particular rose here, but I don't know. Hard to remember.
話題をさらりと変えてくれるというかさ。
Shannon and Jessica could be seen in the rose garden. Jessica, having gotten into a fight with her mother, now felt unable to simply, nonchalantly wander back into the parlor, and so found herself here, killing time.
思い返せば、こういう助けられ方をしたのは、今回が初めてじゃない気がします。
Oh yeah, hell no. He's always been there. Whenever I made a careless mistake and George Sama was there, he would always naturally smooth things over and make things harmonious, I think. Maybe it wasn't something as direct as picking up a fork that had been dropped, but that was his way of caring. Even servants have pride. They want to fix their own mistakes by themselves. Because if a guest helped them out with that, they would lose face.
そういう空気を読むのが得意なんだろうぜ。
Yeah, surprisingly, yeah.
まあ、ジョージ兄さんの美学なんだろうよ。あの人、 妙にキザったらしいところあるからな。
Oh yeah, definitely.
そんなことありません。
No. It wasn't a negative thing. It was a compliment of sorts.
とっても素敵な方だと思います。
Yeah. She does know about them.
ひょっとしてシャノン、ジョージ兄さんに惚れた？
Or maybe this is the moment she finally catches on fully. Maybe she already knew and is just teasing. Shannon had refuted Jessica's words uncharacteristically forcefully, so Jessica caught on immediately.
そういうことはないかと。
I think, huh?
そういや、ジョージ兄さんってあまり浮いた話を聞いたことないし。あれ？確か家庭的な子がタイプだとか前に聞いたかな。そりゃいいぜ、シャノンぴったりじゃん。私がですか？そんな、私にはそんな資格ありませんし。
I still don't know where I have heard Shannon's voice from. I know I've heard it in some anime, but I just can't pinpoint it. Wait, is it Kukimiya Rie? Like the tsundere girl voice actress? Maybe?
資格はあるぜ。何年も昔から顔を合わせてて、半ば幼なじみ状態。互いに男女であることを意識しないナチュラルな関係ってのは、一度意識し始めるとトントン拍子らしいぜ。
Jessica loved teen magazines with these kinds of stories, and she was always on the phone talking excitedly with her friends about that kind of thing. So she had a keen intuition for this kind of romantic topic. So this wasn't the first time a topic like this had been brought to Shannon. But it was certainly the first time she had noticed George as a member of the opposite sex. She was furniture, and George was an honored guest connected to the Ushiromiya family. She had thought it impermissible to even imagine a deeper relationship. So is the prologue thing disconnected to this whole thing, or will it happen later, or did the date already happen? But Shannon wasn't really thinking about it that romantically. So she hadn't thought about it. Jessica was taking immense pleasure in poking fun at all this, since it didn't affect her. Shannon was doing her best to make sure that her blushing cheeks weren't discovered. So if George showed up at a time like this, there would be no way that she would be able to keep her cool. Yeah. They saw George come out from the entrance hall of the mansion. It looked like he had seen them as well. He headed over, waving his hand. Shannon had to frantically try to regain her ordinary composure before George reached them.
おじいさまがやっと降りてきたよ。
Oh, that's different. Okay. So, Shannon, did you manage to conceal your blush or emotions?
あとは大人たちの話になるからって追い出されてね。
God damn it. I don't think I've heard Kinzo be taught. Like, I don't think we've seen any scenes of Kinzo talking to any of the family members outside Natsuhi. Like, directly face to face. Like, sure, we've seen him talk to Kanon and Genji and Nanjo. And then, Natsuhi that one time, but I don't think we've seen him talk face to face to anyone else yet. Maybe Maria? I don't know. Did he talk to Battler? I forget.
そりゃ抜 して正解だよ。
Hmm.
じいさまの顔を拝むくらいなら疫病神にキスした方がマシだぜ。
Okay, new ship just dropped. Jessica, ex-god of pestilence. Okay, cool.
そんな言い方は悪いよ。ただ、おじいさまは僕らのことを疫病神だと思っているかもしれないね。
Yes. You guys are just pawns for the demon's roulette that will happen later.
何しろ、事業用にお金を借りたいという話でやってきたんだから。
We came over here specifically to ask him for money for business. Sure. That's right. This wasn't the customary annual October family conference. Okay. Ava's family had visited to apply for a business loan from the main family. Kinzo had vast resources, and he lent those out to his children. Of course, this was not money to lend, because they had gotten themselves into financial trouble. How would they expand their business using the vast amount of money that they borrowed? How much interest would be attached, and how soon could it be repaid? This wasn't a loan for the have-nots. It was a loan for those who were on the offense. Yeah. Like, they will pay back probably triple the amount of the loan, but it's just how much are they willing to loan for the sake of making profits quickly. Kinzo judged strictly whether it was worth lending out his fortune, and afterwards he strictly oversaw its use. Fair. So there was occasionally this spectacle where relatives visited Rokkenjima and explained their business to Kinzo. To the parents, it may well have been a meeting concerning the movement of large sums of money, forcing immense stress upon them. But to Jessica, who lived on this isolated island called Rokkenjima, it was a precious opportunity to meet up with her cousins. Yeah, sure. So even her bad mood from getting into that fight with her mother was immediately cured by this chat with the infrequent visitor, George.
うちも全くケチくせえぜ。
Do we have a... yeah, no, still no exact date. Sure, yeah.
金なんて余ってるんだろうから、気前よく貸してやりゃいいのによ。うちの親父もじいさまも、どうせねちっこくもったいぶってんだろうぜ。
お金を貸すとき、慎重になるのは当然のことだよ。もちろんうちの父さんも、借り入れた分で事業を拡大し、しっかり返却できるプランを持って訪れてる。
Sure.
あとは、プレゼンテーション次第ってところだろうね。
Yeah.
本当は、脇で見させてもらって勉強したいんだけど、母さんに追い出されちゃったんだよ。ちょっと残念かな。
親方様はクラウス様やエヴァ様のことを今でも子供の頃と全く変わらないように叱られるようです。
Yeah, I mean, you know, even if it's not the case maybe with Kinzo, because he doesn't really care that much, you know, two parents, their kids will always be kids, no matter how old they can get.
そんな姿を息子のジョージ様にきっと見せたくないのでしょう。
Yeah, not many people are willing to show themselves get hampered or treated like kids in front of others, especially in front of those ones that they try to impress or be a good role model to. As Shannon hung her head, she thought back on those scenes she had grown used to seeing while working in the mansion. Even Kraus, who acted haughtily towards his siblings, was still treated like a child by Kinzo. I don't know why I said her. Imagine magical girl Kraus. I'm sorry for that image in your brains now. Shannon herself had often seen Kinzo slapping Kraus or making him sit in Seiza style. Yep. It was probably deeply humiliating to have that forced upon him at his age. Let's read what is Seiza. I mean, I know what it is, but let's read it. Seiza is a traditional Japanese manner of sitting, used for formal occasions where respect is demanded. To sit in Seiza style, you kneel on the floor or on a cushion with your legs folded under your thighs and sit on your heels, with the tops of your feet entirely flat on the floor and big toes overlapping. The position can be quite uncomfortable to maintain for long periods of time, especially for those unaccustomed to it. Yeah, your legs go... you just lose feeling in them really quickly. I didn't know that you had to overlap your big toes though. Okay, extra lore learned. How would that work with Kinzo? With his extra toes. In the Ushiromiya family, taking care not to be present when this happened was one of the great tasks of the servants. Of course, that did mean that Shannon had been making mistakes by being witness to it.
そうだろうね。それを察して姿を消すのも子供の務めかな。それにしても今年もこの庭園の花は本当に素敵だね。
Yeah, let's hope that they stay that way and that we will not be missing a rose eventually. George stretched as he said that, yeah? And truly effortlessly, he changed the subject away from something that had become a little gloomy. Good job, George. This time, Shannon noticed it too. This person, George, was highly sensitive to the mood of a group and was always caring enough to change the subject to something harmonious. Again, the use of harmonious. Second time in a short period of time. Interesting. It had been so smooth that Shannon hadn't noticed it until today, but now it was on her mind, yeah. Today, Shannon had to really admire that behavior of George's. Almost all of the boys Shannon knew of her own age were her classmates during her education. Sure. But they were all immature, and none of them had the composure that George did. Even though he had been just another guest until moments ago, now she couldn't describe him with just that. But that was idle thinking, irrelevant to her work as a servant. Shannon tried to chase it away with a small shake of her head. Oh, noticing her? Yeah.
いえ、何でもありません。お茶のご用意をしましょうか。
If you would, yeah.
先ほどのアールグレイを改めてご用意します。
紅茶の名前覚えてくれたんだね。嬉しいよ。
さっきはお気遣いをありがとうございました。
Shannon was finally able to put her thanks into words. If you wrote them out on a paper, they wouldn't seem like much. But Shannon had needed just a little courage to say them out loud, yeah. She is kinda timid like that, so good job, Shannon. But George played dumb, of course he did.
何のことだい?
I don't know if it's just because he wants to tease her, or if this is his own way of trying to help Shannon break out of her shell and become more, not proactive, but, you know, be better at using words.
お礼を言われるような覚えはないけど。
Or maybe he's just trying to play cool. It seemed he was being a gentleman in his own way, saying that he hadn't helped her because he wanted to be thanked. It seemed that George's response had been more or less predictable to Jessica, yeah. She burst out laughing uncontrollably. Fair.
なあ、こういうところ気ざったらしいだろ。
Mm-hmm.
そんなことは。
Jessica made fun of Shannon as she remained silent, red-faced. George didn't know the details, but he naturally joined in, laughing the same way. Wow. The three of them lazily walked around the garden, talking about what was new. George, as the oldest cousin, talked about his life experiences. Jessica talked about recent life on Rokkenjima. Okay. And Shannon talked about her recent work. These silly little topics went round and round in circles. Even when the others' stories had been fascinating, Shannon had never felt particularly connected to their contents. She was nothing more than a servant, and she had no intention of delving into her master's life. She simply wanted them to enjoy their time speaking with her, sure, and was only pretending to listen intently and nodding at right moments. Okay, but maybe she couldn't help herself but to be drawn into George's stories. But for some reason, she found talking with George deeply interesting today. Yeah. Even for things that she would normally ignore, she felt like she could feel a kindness hidden beneath the words. For some reason, she wanted to know more things about George, no matter how trivial. So she stared fixedly at him. Wow, someone is gonna notice that. I'm not sure if it's gonna be George, but definitely Jessica, if not George. She thought that as far as looks went, this person, Ushiromiya George, was probably about average, and he didn't really stick out. Harsh, but I mean, I guess fair. He isn't the Bishonen type, and you know, I mean, he has good skin and a kind face. I mean, he has defined features, so you know. So there's at least that, but yeah, very typical what you'd expect of a Japanese I don't know, businessman, average businessman, I guess. Though maybe not. Japanese would be normally more reserved, I guess. He can be a bit brash in his actions or like take the leader role more often. But he was diligent, serious, and deeply thoughtful in a way that allowed him to understand people's hearts and care for them. But she had never been aware of these things until now. She might not have met him many times, but she had known his face for many years. Even so, she had not noticed once until now. Yeah, so this is definitely when Shannon is truly awakening to her self, noticing George and being in love with him. And wow, did Jessica pick up on that real quick, even before Shannon did. So Shannon felt ashamed of this and her cheeks went red. Maybe George thought that Shannon was appreciating him talking about himself because he continued to relate his personal stories. Yeah. I mean, no one seems to be uncomfortable, so why not just continue? Yeah. But Jessica didn't miss that slight change in Shannon. Hey, I knew it. Jessica do be very sensitive to that kind of stuff. It was mentioned in episode 1 that Jessica had noticed the romance beforehand, so yeah. So she turned the discussion around to the topic Shannon wanted to hear about most. Yeah?
そういやさ。
You don't... I don't think you've ever had any girlfriends, George Neeson, have you?
ジョージ兄さん、いい加減に彼女とかはできたわけ？
なんだい、やぶから棒に。
Wow. I think, I mean, it might have really been out of the blue for him and surprised George. But I would like to think that, Jessica hadn't noticed that George would already be kinda in love with, Shannon. And this took George by surprise because, what the hell, how did she notice? Why is this topic being brought up? I didn't show any emotion like that. Help. And he's being like very, very weird about it now. Normally, just George's reaction would have been an answer enough. But for some reason, as she was now, Shannon found herself unable to understand it unless he said it clearly. Fair.
その
Love does make you blind, as they say. I don't know if that's the saying. Something along those lines.
ジョージ様はお優しいですから、さぞやその表になるだろうと。
いや、その
よせよシャノン。そういう追い詰め方はかえって意地悪だぜ。
Wow, and that's quite mean of you to call out her like that. Okay, cackle.
私は別に意地悪のつもりは。
I think the cackle hasn't been used very often, and I think it was used with Beatrice, but I'm not sure if it was used with anyone else. Maybe with Maria, not sure.
嬉しい勘違いをありがとう。残念だけど、特定の一人の女性とはまだご縁がないよ。
Still.
見ての通り、容姿も並以下だからね。女の子を楽しくさせてあげられるような気の利いた話術もないし。
そんなことないと思います。それに、男性の魅力は、容姿では測れないところで決まるんじゃないかと思います。だからその...
Yeah, go for it, Shannon.
ジョージ様はとても魅力的な男性じゃないかと、思います。
You know, Jessica is eating this up. She's loving this conversation that they are having. Shannon was uncharacteristically verbose, yeah. Compared to her normal self, she was being very wordy indeed. George looked fairly pleased about hearing his own charm described, but he was just a little surprised at this high praise. Jessica, sure now that her own imagination was right on, acted as though she could barely hold back her laughter. Yeah.
ありがとう、シャノンちゃん。僕に魅力を感じてくれるような寛大な女性に早く巡り会いたいね。
きっと巡り会えると思います。
ジ
ョージ様の本当の魅力に気づいている女性はきっといえ、大勢いらっしゃると思いますよ。
She probably wanted to say, there's a girl not very far away. She avoided saying that much, drawing a final line as a servant.
そうかな。
Hey, there we go. He let it slip.
さすがに照れるね。
Mask it as embarrassment. I mean, it is still embarrassing, but you know. Maybe he had never been praised this much by a girl. George's face turned just as bright red as Shannon's. As she watched the two of them, Jessica giggled sadistically. Wow.
ジョージ兄さんもやがては素敵なパートナーと出会うだろうけどさ、今のままじゃきっと上手にパートナーをエスコートできないと思うぜ。
And your next line is gonna be, why not practice with Shannon?
勤勉でいらっしゃるようだけど、そっちのお勉強はからっきしみたいだしよ。
悪かったね。その勉強はこれから少しずつしていくよ。
相手もいないのにどうやって？
Hey, there we go.
恋愛映画でも見る？それとも秀吉おじさんに習う？
Yeah?
まるで鬼の首でも取ったみたいだな。
That was a weird... I mean, yeah, I guess it's a Japanese saying that makes sense, sir. In Japanese, George said, Oni no kubi o totta kibun. Like, sorry, what did he say? I mean, we need to go one line further.
こういう話では、男は女の子にかなわないね。まるで鬼の首でも取ったみたいだな。
Yeah, it's as if you had just taken the head of an ogre. Or a demon, you know. Wow, what a saying. Japanese people, I swear. They and their onis. Normally, when George and Jessica got together, their parents would say, George is diligent and admirable, and Jessica is lazy and rude. So it was probably irresistible fun for Jessica when their roles were finally reversed. Oh yeah, definitely. Good catch, sorry. Good point. Good point made. George also realized that, so this time he was content with being the one who was teased.
ジョージ兄さんさえいいならさ、シャノンでちょっと練習してみたら？
There we go.
シャノンを一日退屈させずにデートに連れてくんだよ。
Is this what leads to the prologue? Or is that just way later when they are actually dating?
どうよ。
そんなお嬢様。
Shut up, Shannon. When she heard Jessica's audacious plan, Shannon's face turned bright red and a donut of smoke rose from it with a poof. Yeah.
それはとても魅力的な提案だけど、シャノンちゃんに悪いよ。
Shannon, now is your time to hold your ground.
彼女の貴重な休日を奪うだけじゃない。彼女が本当に思いを寄せる人と二人きりで過ごす聖域に僕が割り込んでしまうことになる。そんな無粋なことはできないね。
私もその
No, not I also.
思い人とかそういう人はいませんので、そういうお気遣いは無用なのです。
Okay, good direction, good direction. Now a bit more. Shannon's blood had all rushed to her head, and it looked like even she didn't know what she was babbling about. Yeah, fair enough. Jessica, who knew how Shannon normally was, seemed to find that really comical. She couldn't hide her cackling laugh anymore.
そうなのかい?
Yeah, one of you has to do the accepting or inviting part right now.
シャノンちゃんみたいな可愛い子が独り身なんて信じられないね。
私、使用人ですから、その男の方との縁なんてありませんし、その。
ってことは、シャノンも将来素敵な男性を射止めるために交際の練習が必要だってことじゃないのかよ。つまり二人とも互いの思惑は一致するわけだ。
Hey, good job, Jessica.
なるほど、こりゃいいぜ。
Jessica irresponsibly cheered the two of them on. Now, George was also hanging his head, red-faced.
ジョージ、さっきから呼んでるわよ。
Wow, completely drowned in the mood.
聞こえないの？
Since Ava appeared in what was already an embarrassing situation, both of them became even more flustered. Wow. Jessica was in stitches, I bet she was. Just laughing and laughing.
母さん。ごめんよ。話が込み入っちゃっててね。気づかなかった。
これはエヴァ様。大変失礼しました。
若い子たち同士で大層盛り上がってたみたいね。あなたたちもみんなお年頃だもの。そういう話題が尽きないのもよくわかるわ。
Yeah?
嫌ですね。エヴァおばさんだってまだまだお若いじゃないですか。
Oh yeah, she is in the perfect prime.
秀吉おじさんとの馴れ初めを聞かせてくださいよ。
あら、そんなの言えるわけないわよ。本当にみんな若いんだから。
それで何、母さん。用があって声をかけたんじゃないの？
お父さんたちの話が終わったわ。おじいさまにあなたの話をするからいらっしゃい。
僕の話？何の話かな？
Are you being... Did someone propose for you to take on a business venture and spearhead it, or...
今みんなでしてたのと同じ話よ。
Oh. Okay. Please no arranged marriage.
ほら、例の話。
あの話かい。別におじいさまに話すようなことじゃないんじゃないかな。
何の話だよ。
Probably arranged marriage.
まさかジョージ兄さん誰かと結婚するの？
それはおめでとうございます。
I can see her soul leaving her body.
違うよ。特定の女性はいないってさっき言ったじゃないか。
威張ることじゃないでしょ。まったく。
Ava smiled bitterly, looking a little exasperated.
わかった。ジョージ兄さんあれでしょ。お見合いだ。
Yeah.
お見合いですか。
まあね。
Bad timing. Unlucky. I guess that's what our conflict is gonna be about this time. As a man, George undoubtedly wanted to find a partner by himself and carry her off himself, yeah. So it seemed that he found the idea of meeting his partner for the first time in a marriage meeting arranged by his parents to be a little pathetic. Yeah.
お見合いというのはもっと年齢が成熟してからするものじゃないのかな。僕はまだ一人前になったって自覚すらないというのに。
もちろん即結納即結婚なんて焦る気は全然ないのよ。
Okay, good job. Plus points then.
親睦を深めて年齢的にもう少し落ち着いてから籍を入れる形でも問題ないの。
From the forceful impression Ava was giving and George's evasiveness, it seemed you could catch a glimpse of how this marriage meeting linked into everything, yeah. Who this other person was remained unclear, but it was surely someone profitable to Ava's family in a business sense. Yeah, maybe someone from the, Okonoki Sweets? Okonoki something. Conglomerate, or whatever it is. It felt almost like a political strategy, they wanted to create a connection between the two families, if not by changing registers, then at least by having them get engaged, yeah.
結婚はね、好きになってからするものじゃないの。
Sorry, I just started thinking about other characters who I could know from Higurashi, but probably not. Probably not.
してから慣れることよ。感情だけで結婚すると必ず後悔する。身元のしっかりした人を生涯の伴侶に選んで、それから愛情を築いていくのも決して間違ったことではないの。
I mean, I'm glad that you said it this way. Like, there's definitely nothing wrong. Like, I mean, I don't quite vibe with that. It still rubs me the wrong way, but I'm glad that you're not super forceful about it. Like, I definitely like based on emotions much more than carefully choosing someone based on their background. I mean, and then building up emotions of love. Like, it's not like that in itself is wrong, but it just feels manufactured and icky. I don't know. But if you're not being too gross and too calculative about it, it's not like it's the worst thing or it's completely wrong. So yeah, I can see your side in it, but I know that your mind and everyone in Ushiromiya, at least the older generation's mind, it's more about the profits rather than finding a suitable person just for the sake of love or personality rather than, yeah.
エヴァおばさん、それじゃ秀吉おじさんに悪いですよ。
Yeah?
私はあの人のこと大好きよ。いつまでも一緒にいて人生を共にしていきたい。
エヴァ様、素晴らしいです。本当にご立派です。
ありがとう。でもその気持ちは二人で夫婦をしていくうちに育んだものよ。
But we built up those feelings while we were husband and wife, you see. Huh. I mean, whatever works for you. Like, it's not wrong. I mean, I think it is wrong to get married if you don't love the other person or even like them. But at least retrospectively it was fine because you ended up loving each other. So like, yeah. It started out weirdly, but we got there in the end, kind of a deal.
そして今の私たちより未来の私たちの方がもっともっと仲良しだと信じてる。
Hey, love to hear that.
私は夫婦はそういうものがいいと思ってるの。
Oh yeah, just don't stagnate and each day strive to find new things to love about your partner, your significant other. That's the way to live. Each day, try to fall in love with them again.
だからって好きでもない相手と結婚してもいいって論法にはならないと思うけどな。
だからって好きな相手なら誰と結婚してもいいという論法にはならないわ。
I disagree.
結婚は一瞬。でもその後の夫婦生活はずっとずっと長いの。
That I kinda agree. I'm like, I know so many people are like, marriage is the one thing you can do in life, so you must cherish it and you must make it count, but like, it's really only a ceremony, it's really only a moment. Like, sure, there is emotion in it if the people love each other, but like, I personally don't put too much weight on the whole wedding thing. But yeah, this last line I vibe with very much. Your life as a married couple after that is very, very long, yeah. But but it doesn't hurt to make the wedding count to, you know, good memories are one of the things to strive for. Like, after looking back, after a long life, the more memories you have, the more full life you've led, I think the better it will feel afterwards, in retrospective.
だから一時の感情に任せず慎重に相手を探すべきなの。
Okay, in that sense I'm kinda there with you. Like, as long as you don't just word it like you have to find someone with a proper background for the sake of making a good and stable life in the future for the sake of, you know, profit and living happily. As long as you don't word it like that, I'm fine with your idea. But I don't know, I'm still very different as a person myself. I very much live day by day, like just go along with the waves, ride the waves. Whatever comes, I'll take it. I mean, I do plan some stuff out, of course, but mostly I'm just going along.
そしてそれは人生経験の未熟なあなたよりお母さんたちの方がうまくやれるとは思わない？
Older people do have more experience, this is true, but you can't really apply all of that to a younger person's life. Everyone has a different life, different ideals, different values.
それはそうかもしれないけど。
And that kind of goes back to the episode 1 chessboard analogy with what if the other person isn't playing chess to win? People have different motivations to do things. Not everyone is trying to strive for a happy married life with a stable job and 3 kids and a wealthy foundation for future generations. You know? Some people just want to watch anime and watch more anime and I don't know. That's it. Not speaking from experience. Definitely not.
あなたは私の自慢の一人息子よ。
Yeah, sure. That is. Yeah. Parents do care about their children, and it's not like she's doing it out of spite. She's just trying to think what's best for her son.
どこへ出しても恥ずかしくないくらい立派に成長してくれたわ。
And because she is proud of you. Yeah. That extenuates her ideas.
バトラ君は席を抜け、あなたが今やお父様の血を引く唯一の男孫。あなたにふさわしい相手は慎重に選ばなくてはならない。
Sure, that feeds into the idea even more, yeah. As everyone related to the Ushirumiya family knew, Eva adored George so much that he was the apple of her eye. But that didn't mean she had pampered him. She had raised him strictly, and he had grown into a charming man who wouldn't betray her expectations. That's how he was the apple of her eye.
あなたの相手は決して母さんたちの損得で決めてなんかいないわ。
Okay, that's huge. That makes me so relieved. Like, ultimately, I'm fine with whatever you say. Like, of course, I'm gonna go along with anything that Ava desires, but like from a moral standpoint, that's huge. That's actually huge.
あなたにふさわしい、本当に素晴らしい女性に母さんが合わせてあげる。今はあなたの中にある青臭い若さがそれを疎むかもしれない。でも、これだけは母さんの言うことを聞きなさい。私があなたのためを思わなかったことが一度でもある？
それはないけど。
Okay.
今はそれで結構よ。さあ、行きましょう。お父様を待たせてるわよ。急いで屋敷に行きなさい。
Wait, why is Ava the best?
じゃあ、ごめんね、二人とも。
Like, I'm still on board with just George getting together with Shannon, obviously. That's not gonna change. But, like, I think she kind of turned me around on her idea. Like, I'm still against some of the things that she said, but, like, I think I can vibe with her much more on this topic right now. Yeah. Good job, Ava.
また後で。
George bowed to the two of them, and after bowing once more to Shannon, he dashed off to the mansion.
じゃあおばさんも行くわね。
Yeah.
楽しい話を打ち切っちゃってごめんね、ジェシカちゃん。シャノンちゃん。
Wow, the Shannon-chan? I think she kinda won this round. Wow.
気にしないでください。
Oh my god, poor depressed Shannon moment incoming, I feel like.
じゃあシャノン、私たちは行こうぜ。
はい。
大丈夫よ。
Is it though? I don't think it's gonna be okay unless the person you have in mind is specifically Shannon.
ジェシカちゃんだってきっとそのうち素敵な出会いがあるわよ。
Yeah. Maybe someone kinda like a sibling to Shannon. You know?
ジェシカちゃんにふさわしい素敵な方がね。
私と同程度ってことは成績の悪い男かな。なんだかうぜえぜ。
もちろんシャノンちゃんにもね。
Yeah?
あなたにふさわしい素敵な男性がきっと現れるわよ。
Wow. Meaning, I'm sorry, that man has not yet appeared, so forget about George. Denied.
はい。
Though maybe I'm reading too much into that and it was just I don't know. Maybe she's kind of giving her blessing. We don't know.
ありがとうございます。
As Ava giggled and smiled, she approached Shannon's ear with a hand over her mouth, as though she was trying to tell her a secret. Ayo, which direction is this gonna go? Happy or bad? I have no idea. Uh-oh.
使用人風情のあなたにぴったりの相手がきっと見つかるわよ。
Witch in gold. Wow. Yeah. Turn on a track called Witch as she tells this. Wow. Okay, Ava. Here comes the evil side. Wow. Poor Shannon.
義務教育に行かせてもらった恩も忘れて身の程を知りなさい。
そんなつもりは私。
ジョージはお父様の血を引く孫の中では嫡男に当たるのよ。ひょっとしたら未来の後ろ宮家を背負うことになるかもしれない人。その期待に応えるためにたくさんの勉強を重ねて素晴らしい大学に入り素晴らしい成績を残しているわ。そんなジョージと無能無資格無教養な使用人風情が釣り合うと本気で重い
重い? I know this is a scene that is meant to be like, okay, she had points, but now we're being brought back to ground level, and she's just an evil bitch. But like, I don't know, guys, this is doing it for me. I like the evil women, you know? But poor Shannon. Although, Ava, counterpoint, hear me out. Hear me out. Ushiromiya is a very influential family. And I know in Japan it's mostly common to be in a singular relationship. But what if George just was into polygamy? You know? Or polyamory, whatever. You know? What if he took a main wife from the ones you choose from, but then also Shannon? You know? How about that? I feel like that's a win-win. Yeah? Yeah. Those malicious words all poured into Shannon's ear without spilling a drop. And I can see how this would link and perpetuate her ideas and mental state into eventually going to the shrine to break free from being a mere furniture. Oh boy, depressed Shannon time. To Shannon, it was like cold water being poured in there.
私はそんなつもりは。
This was all whispered in secret. And with the same smile as before. Wow. Jessica, who could only see Ava's expression, didn't think it was anything other than Ava telling Shannon some embarrassing story about love. Okay. When their secret conversation ended, Ava patted Shannon's shoulders as though to underscore her message. Oh boy.
大丈夫よ。あなたにぴったりのお相手がきっと見つかるから。ね。じゃあね、ジェシカちゃん。また後でね。
はい、また後で。
Oh boy.
秀吉おじさんとの話、その時聞かせてくださいね。
いやよ。
She's such an evil aunt. I love it. But also poor Shannon. I'm conflicted because I am empathizing with Shannon currently. Like, we have gotten so much Shannon and George at the beginning here. Like, I'm currently very invested in both of them. But at the same time, I can't deny that I really like Ava. Despite her personality. Or maybe it's in spite of her I don't know. Ava laughed dryly and headed back to the entrance hall. Behind Jessica, who was cheerfully waving her hand, Shannon reflected very, very deeply on those words of Ava's about knowing her place. Yeah. I think we're gonna leave it here. Yeah. I don't know. This chapter could be close to being over, or it could still continue for a while. But I don't know. I feel like this is a good place to end because we are. Oh boy, got done with the big conversation in the Rose Garden. Also very appropriate that it happened in the Rose Garden. Oh boy. Yeah, I'm emotionally very conflicted because I am invested in Shannon, and I do feel bad for her. But like, also, I'm not hating on Ava. I'm just not. I'll try to rein in my enjoyment of Ava's evilness and try to more concentrate on the despair and depression and melancholy of Shannon. I feel like that's more fitting for this episode, at least for now. Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah, wow. So far, it's been very character heavy, like character drama, character relationship heavy, and I'm very much appreciating that. I'm just wondering, when will we get the magical stuff? Is it only when the murders begin to happen? What if in episode 2 we are just gonna have this, no one is gonna die, and it's just exploring the background of the ones involved here? Yeah, I could see that being the case. Okay. Cool. Okay, I guess until next week. Patreon, early access up to 2 weeks. Link down in the description. Cool. See ya.